The first sound wasn't just metal, it was entitlement meeting physics. When my loaded logging rig rolled up and over that spotless white Tesla in front of my gate, there was this split second where time stretched, the steel groaned, glass shattered, and then everything went quiet, the kind of silence that shows up when consequences finally clock in for work. My name's Ethan Cole, I'm 47, and I run a small logging outfit off a private road that ends into the backside of Cedar Ridge Estates. For 12 years, my life was simple, predictable, and peaceful. 15 acres of pines and firs, an iron gate at the bottom of my gravel drive, 3 big reflective signs that all said the same thing. Private road. No parking. Trespassers will be towed. Nobody ever tested those signs. Until Lydia Marsh moved in. She bought the biggest house at the entrance of Cedar Ridge Estates, a $1.something million shrine to her own importance, and introduced herself like she was campaigning for mayor. Her husband Ryan Marsh liked to let people assume he was some hotshot attorney. In reality, he did corporate tax work for an HVAC company. But Lydia called herself vice president of the Cedar Ridge Property Association like it was federal office. The first time I met her white Tesla SUV, it was parked nose to fence directly in front of my gate, gleaming like a showroom prop, completely blocking my only in and out. I honked once. Nothing. Twice. Nothing. I finally had to park my pickup on the shoulder and walk up. Lady in expensive athleisure, neon sneakers, mirrored sunglasses, yoga mat under one arm. Is this your car? I asked. She smiled like I'd complimented it. Of course. I'm just running to yoga at the clubhouse. I'll only be a minute. You're blocking my driveway, I said, nodding at the iron gate. This is my private road. It's on my deed. Instant shift. The fake sweetness evaporated. This is community access, she said sharply. The association maintains this stretch. No, ma'am, I said. I've graded and paid for this road for 12 years. Check the county parcel maps. She gave a little laugh that felt like being slapped. I'm sure we'll sort that out. I'll move it when I'm finished. And she turned her back and walked away. That was day one. By the time she wandered back, sweaty from yoga and high on her own importance, I'd already called a tow company. They wouldn't touch the car without clear jurisdiction. I left a note. She tossed it, looked me right in the eye and said, "You shouldn't monopolize shared access, Ethan. It's not very neighborly." The next day, I found an official-looking notice wedged in my gate, Cedar Ridge Property Association violation. According to Vice President Lydia Marsh, my gate restricted community access, and I owed $250 in fines. My land wasn't even inside their HOA boundary. I laughed, took pictures, and sent them to the board. The reply came 2 days later. After review, Mrs. Marsh's use of the access road falls within reasonable community activity. Reasonable. Apparently that now included trespassing. She escalated slowly, the way rot does. Parked a little closer. Then a little longer. Spray. Painted over my signs one night with HOA road only in bright pink. Every time I tried to talk to her, she'd wave that VP title like a badge. I'm the association, she'd say. You can't threaten me on shared property. The sheriff's office confirmed, in writing, that the road was mine. Didn't matter. The HOA backed her, neighbors got spooked, and suddenly I was the angry logging guy with big trucks and bad vibes. I started documenting everything. Photos, timestamps, emails. Ben Harper, an old friend who actually is an attorney, told me, "Stay calm, stay boring, stack your evidence. She's building you a case." Then she went after something bigger than my schedule. She went after my name. A title company letter showed up one afternoon, mentioning unpaid HOA dues tied to my parcel. Turned out Lydia, as VP, had filed a bogus association lien on my land, complete with my parcel number and her signature. $900 in back dues for a road they don't own. That's fraud, Ben said. But don't blow up. We'll handle it. We did. Complaints, filings, a formal cease and desist from his firm. Her answer? Another violation notice, more email blasts, more gossip. Suddenly, I was the guy running an unlicensed commercial operation, according to her little rumor machine. Then came the day with my mom. My mother, Evelyn Cole, is 80, proud as a general and built out of stubbornness and bird bones. Bad knees, little folding walker, still insists on bringing me homemade pie. I planned a quiet weekend with her, short walk from the gate, her favorite diner, a stroll among the pines. We rolled up to the gate, and there it was. The Tesla, parked dead center. No Lydia in sight. The wellness luncheon at the clubhouse was in full swing. HOA voicemail hit me with a wall of apathy. Dispatch was sympathetic but helpless. Tow companies quoted 4 to 6 hours and didn't want to touch HOA drama. My mother sat in the car, cramped and tired, while we drove circles waiting for a truck that never came. By the time she made the short walk up my drive with her walker, she was pale and exhausted. That image, my 80-year-old mom suffering because a grown woman needed to prove she owned my road, burned into me deeper than any chainsaw scar. That night, something inside me stopped pleading and started planning. You get one of two reactions with people like Lydia. Either you fold, or you learn to think colder than they do. I chose cold. I called Ben again at midnight. You were right, I said. This isn't about parking. It's about her needing to humiliate someone. He was quiet a moment, then said, so humiliate her back, legally. No improvising. No anger. Do it so clean the paper trail does the talking. That became the blueprint. First I dug through every document I had. Deed, surveys, tax records, maintenance receipts, liability policies. All confirmed the same thing. That road, that gate, that gravel, every inch was legally mine. Then we sent the first shot. Not emotional, not theatrical. Surgical. A certified letter, drafted by Ben, addressed to Lydia Marsh. Effective Monday, 6 a.m., commercial logging traffic will operate on the private access road serving parcel number. Any vehicle obstructing that access will be considered unlawfully parked on private property and may incur damage as a direct consequence. This letter constitutes formal notice and final warning. The courier handed it to her. She signed for it. I kept the receipt like it was gold. Next, I upgraded the signs. Not little faded plaques, but big, aluminum, reflective monsters. Private road, commercial logging traffic. No parking, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Vehicles may be damaged. 3 of them, at the gate, halfway down, and at the approach curve inside Cedar Ridge Estates. Under each, a smaller plate stamped. Notice posted 72 hours before operation. I copied the letter to the Cedar Ridge Property Association Board and to the county clerk. I emailed the sheriff's office with the date, time, and nature of my planned convoy. Deputy Morales, the same guy who'd come out before, replied he'd swing by just to observe. Then I prepped the truck. My big Kenworth, fully inspected, loaded manifest, 40,000 pounds of Douglas fir strapped down, brakes checked twice. This wasn't some stunt. It was a real delivery with a real buyer waiting and a paper trail a mile long. I briefed my driver, Pete, like we were going into surgery. You stay in the cab, I said. Slow, controlled, no sudden moves. If she moves the car, you stop. If she doesn't, you keep creeping in low gear. Cameras are rolling. Everything on my word. I also called Lydia, left a voicemail that documented the last warning. This is Ethan Cole. Logging trucks begin using the road Monday at 6. Your vehicle in front of my gate will be at risk. Move it. Time-stamped. Backed up to the cloud. Check, check, check. Neighbors began to notice the signs, the letters, the sheriff's cruiser doing a slow roll by. A few who had avoided me for months started stopping at the fence. Is it really private? One asked. I showed them parcel maps, tax records, the fraudulent lien Lydia filed, my attorney's letter. You could see the guilt creep in as they realized how easy it had been to believe the HOA queen over the quiet logging guy. By Sunday night, everything was in place. Signs, certified mail, cameras, witnesses, a legitimate business reason to take that rig through my gate. I didn't sleep much. Not because I doubted the law, I trusted the paperwork, but because I was wrestling with the ethics. I'd never set out to destroy anyone's car. I just wanted my road back, my reputation back, my life back. But every time doubt crept in, I saw my mom in that front seat, her walker folded beside her, waiting on a tow truck that never came because one woman wanted to prove she controlled a road she didn't own. Some lines you can't let stay crossed. At 5:45 a.m. Monday, I drove down in my pickup. There it was. The Tesla, perfectly centered, like she'd parked the night before just to dare me. I called her. Straight to voicemail. Final warning, Lydia, I said calmly. Truck rolls at 6. I texted Deputy Morales. She's blocking the gate. Cameras on. He sent back a single thumbs up. At 6:03, the Kenworth eased into view, lights low, engine rumbling like distant thunder. The trailer, stacked high with logs, looked like a moving wall. I climbed into the cab, headset on. "You ready?" I asked Pete. "Ready," he said, voice tight. Air horn. 2 short, polite blasts. Nothing. We crawled forward in granny gear, the truck moving like a slow decision you can't undo. My cameras were catching everything. Dashboard view of the Tesla's rear, side shot from the fence, overhead angle from the gate post. Bumper to bumper, we stopped. "Push," I said quietly. "Slow." The Kenworth nudged. You feel it before you hear it. That moment when mass meets resistance. The Tesla's rear bumper compressed, wobbled, then surrendered. Plastic snapped, metal crumpled, glass spider, webbed. The car squatted down into the gravel like it was kneeling. We rolled another 12 inches. The rear axle folded, the hatch twisted, the whole back half of the car gave up its shape. It wasn't a Hollywood explosion. It was worse, slow, deliberate, documented. That's when Lydia finally appeared, sprinting from the clubhouse in leggings and a designer hoodie, screaming my name like I'd burned her house down. There's a particular sound people make when the world stops revolved around them. It's not just anger. It's disbelief. That was Lydia. She ran up to what was left of the Tesla, hands in her hair, shrieking, "You can't do this. You're crazy. You're going to jail." Phones were out instantly. Neighbors, teens, some HOA folks who'd showed up to see the logging hazard in action. Deputy Morales' cruiser rolled up behind us, lights off, just watching. I climbed down from the cab, boots hitting gravel. "Everyone hear me," I said loud and steady, eyes on the cameras, then on Lydia. "This is private property." I sent certified notice. I posted signs. I called the sheriff. "You chose to park here after all that." She jabbed a finger at my chest. "You destroyed my car. You destroyed it," I said, "the second you decided the rules didn't apply to you." Deputy Morales walked over, asked for my phone, and started scrolling through the saved videos and letters. He watched the Tesla blocking my gate day after day, the pink spray paint over my signs, the certified letter being delivered, my voicemail that morning. He took his time. Then he nodded. "Ma'am," he said to Lydia, "your vehicle was parked illegally on private land." Mr. Cole documented multiple warnings. "This is a civil matter tied to trespass, not a criminal case against him." She stared at him, stunned. "I'm vice president of the Cedar Ridge Property Association," she snapped. "This is community access. Not according to the county," he said, holding up the parcel map Ben had provided. "The association has no authority here." That one line cracked her whole persona. Ryan showed up next, half-dressed, hair sticking up, briefcase in hand like it could fix anything. He took one look at the Tesla, rear end flattened, logo twisted like a smirk, and you could see the blood drain from his face. "What happened?" he muttered. "What happened," I said, "is that your wife ignored every warning she was given." Morales handed him copies of the letters, photos of the signs, a timeline with my emails to the HOA and sheriff's office. "Did she show you any of this?" he asked. Ryan just closed his eyes. By lunchtime, there were already videos online. HOA lady gets Tesla rolled by logging truck, shaky cell footage with my truck in slow motion and Lydia screaming in the foreground. People argued in the comments, but the full clip, the one with dates, signs, certified mail, sheriff presence, that one started to spread too. Her insurance adjuster came out, took one look at everything, and said, "Parked on posted private property, warned in writing? I'm sorry, ma'am. That's on you." She fired him on the spot, then tried a real attorney. He reviewed the file, called me once to confirm details, then told her flatly, "If we push this, you'll get countersued for harassment, fraud, and trespassing." My advice? Walk away. Meanwhile, Cedar Ridge Property Association went into panic mode. Emergency meeting. Full house. Neighbors who'd never said a word before started bringing receipts. Fake fines Lydia had sent them, bogus administrative fees, HOA money that had magically paid for her community wellness classes. Turned out, flattening her car only exposed what she'd been doing for years. Within a week, she was stripped of her title. Within a month, there was a for sale sign in her yard. Within 2, the moving truck came. Ryan left first. She followed later, eyes straight ahead, never once looking at my gate. The sheriff's office put out a short statement. No criminal wrongdoing on my part. Dispute resolved civilly. Property owner within his rights. Northfield Mutual, her insurance, sent me a letter too. No liability found on Ethan Cole. Claim denied for owner negligence. File closed. It was the driest, most beautiful paragraph I've ever read. Life didn't snap back overnight, but it softened. Neighbors started stopping by again. One brought a pie. Another helped me straighten my mailbox. Alan Briggs, the new HOA president, came out one afternoon, hat in hand. On behalf of the board, he said, "We let her run wild. It won't happen again." I believed him, mostly because the fear was gone from everyone's eyes. The spell had broken. I had a small plaque made by a metal worker in town and bolted it to my gate. Private road. Respect it or regret it. It makes me smile every time I pass it. When my mom came back a few months later for Thanksgiving, the road was clear. No Teslas, no folding chairs, no fake protests. Just gravel, trees, and quiet. She stepped out of the car, looked around, and said, "Well, looks like the queen moved out of the castle." "Yeah," I said. "Kingdom's under new management now." She patted my arm. "You did it right, Ethan. You stayed patient. That matters." And she's right. That's the part that still sticks with me. The most powerful thing in this whole story wasn't the truck. It was the paperwork. The patience. The refusal to explode when exploding would have felt so damn good. Because I didn't just crush a car. I crushed the idea that someone could hide behind a title, a logo, and a luxury badge and never answer for what they did to other people. So now I'll throw it to you. Was I right to let 80,000 pounds of logging truck finish what the law started, after every warning and every line was crossed? Where's the line between justified consequences and going too far? And if it were your gate, your mother, your livelihood on the line, what would you have done?